Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at alerts.chartguys.com. Everyone checking in on the crypto space, hiding from the camera today as it's really hot and I don't want to put a shirt on and don't want to read 20 comments about my nipples. So looking at Bitcoin, we have a daily inside bar forming, but we're up at the high of the day. So with 5 hours or so left, it's almost 2 p.m. Eastern. We could see this inside bar break bullish if the strength continues for another 1.5%. If not, we will have the daily inside bar, and the bulls currently have favor, as we would be much closer to breaking the inside bar bullish than bearish where we currently stand. So bulls keeping this momentum in their favor. We did drop back and bounce right off the 4-hour exponential support. Now trying to see that continuation move with 10,790 as our key resistance. If we reject from that level, we'll have a 4-hour tightening range to be watching into tomorrow. I personally still have not made an entry into Bitcoin right now and just want to establish the situation for me personally. I'm trading with a lot more capital in my stock account, and right now commodities in the stock world are going wild, and there's leveraged ETFs in both directions. So for me, cryptocurrency trading is secondary because right now, for example, just today, the oil leveraged bull ETF is up 14%. The bear is down 14%. The bull miners in gold are up 5%. So just as a comparison, if I have more capital in the other account, if I can play very easily in very liquid names in both directions on these ETFs, I can market order, if I wanted to market order $500,000, nothing would budge as far as seeing slippage. So just as a bottom line, the trading environment in the stock world, when there's volatility in at least individual names or commodities or the MJ sector, that's where my attention is. So my lack of getting a position is honestly me just not really focusing as much on the crypto space and not sitting here stressing about not having a position because, again, long-term position, good to go, no big deal if we keep going up without me, because it's much easier for me to make the money that I'd be missing on Bitcoin with a much smaller move in the stock world. So just want to establish that, where if all I was doing was cryptocurrency like I was back in 2017, I would be much more active and I would be trading with more capital and I would be more aggressive with entering my positions. But because of that fact, I can be very patient and wait for a daily high or low. If Bitcoin goes up to 11,500 from here before we start to consolidate on the daily time frame, I will certainly learn from that lesson and make note of potential short-term clues, but I'm not going to sit here pulling my hair out in FOMO because there's opportunity elsewhere for me. So looking at Bitcoin, which we just did, bulls are just fine. New key support is 10,380. Key resistance levels after 10,790, 10,953, and 11,000 psychological. Looking at ETH, still grinding this daily exponential resistance. It is a daily inside bar, and that inside bar, we actually broke by 4 pennies, but I'm considering that a double bottom. But that inside bar is more favoring the bears. We are not near the high of the day like Bitcoin is at. So again, just a notable difference. 163.57 is the low that the bulls must hold with a daily higher low. And again, we're looking for a trend change where the bulls have to hold 163.57 and then get over these daily exponential resistances with a clear higher low and higher high, which we have not seen since we started pulling back to start August. ETH BTC continues to fall apart, dropping down to lower lows, no sign of the bulls. Even when we do bounce, we're just looking for a daily lower high compared to 1808 at this point, and it is a falling knife. There is no support nearby, and as long as we are in a downtrend, the bears have complete control. LTC. So LTC is also a daily inside bar, and it is right in the middle of its range. If we reject and break that inside bar bearish tomorrow, we will reject from these exponential resistances. The bulls will have to hold 62.05 and break 71 to change the daily trend. At this point, we haven't started pulling back for that daily higher low because we have the pattern of a higher low every single candlestick for the last 6 days. When that breaks, that's when our daily higher low is going to form, or we're going to look for that to potentially form. 4-hour time frame just for Ethereum and Litecoin, we can see that the size of this move, the odds of a 4-hour lower high compared to 71 are more likely than the odds of continuation. And just to compare with Ethereum, a little bit of a ways to go, another 3-4% or so. And Bitcoin, again, we only need 1.5% to see continuation. So the bottom line, Bitcoin bulls remain strong comparative to their peers and the altcoins, and the dominance continues. XRP-USD has started the daily pullback. Short-term support is 25.1. Bulls want to hold 25.1 and get over these daily exponential resistances, which are consistently rejecting the price every attempt the last month. Have to see a clear daily trend change and a clear move over exponential resistance levels for the bulls to prove anything to us. Binance, daily top of the bounce has been set. 22.89 is now the most short-term resistance level, most important short-term resistance. The bulls have to hold 20.88 and see a bull break of 22.89, and again, get over these daily exponential resistances in order to prove anything to us. So a fairly quick check-in, not a whole lot going on aside from 4-hour supports being established. The Bitcoin bulls are a little bit extended on the 15-minute and the hourly time frame, which is why we may stay inside this daily inside bar if we consolidate to form an hourly high or low. Possible we stay inside the daily inside bar into tomorrow. Bitcoin bulls full control. Still a lot of work for the bulls on these other altcoins to change the daily trend, get over daily exponential resistance, and then we'll take it from there. And Bitcoin bulls still very comfortable. No red flags whatsoever. Consolidation. We saw a few more drops to 5 and 15-minute oversold conditions, but bulls buying those dip. Look at these 15-minute RSIs dropping right to 25 and then getting a solid bounce, 2% bounce, and now a 3% bounce roughly. Yeah, that's about 2%. So 2% bounces each time. And as long as that's occurring, that tells us there's bulls waiting to buy the dip. If we see 15-minute oversold RSI and then a lower high and cool off RSI levels and then drop to the lower low, that's when the short-term momentum shifts. That's when we zoom out and look for hourly oversold conditions, and that's when we look for the potential of a daily higher low having to form. So congrats again to the bulls, nice and comfortable, and we'll check in tomorrow and see if this inside bar breaks bullish for continuation. So the ducks have slowly transitioned away. There has been some sightings. I haven't seen them in 4 days, which is the longest it's been, so I assume they're getting ready to fly south for the winter. So the next task, I still have to add manure and rotting wood and cover up those beds that we just made, but got some more mulch and already put down some manure thanks to Joshua here. Cleared out a bunch of grass, so I'm covering all this with mulch, and we'll do strawberries here next year. And these are all the raspberries behind them, so I'm gonna weed those and put some mulch over them, and probably gonna try and put some peach trees back there, but that'll be later in the fall. I'm gonna plant a bunch of bulbs for flowers to come up in the spring here around the waterfall as well. And then the next task after the mulching of the strawberries and the perennials will be making a big circular bed here and making it for monarchs and hummingbirds, just a whole bunch of perennial flowers. So we're gonna have to cut the grass real short, put a bunch of wood as a perimeter, and then put mulch and cardboard on top of that and kill off the grass over the winter and plant stuff in the spring. Just found out this is an edible variety of dogwood. So these little things are, it kind of tastes a little bit like a peach, but it's a very strange texture, and most of these aren't ripe just yet. But always cool to know. There's a bunch of them around town, so I was walking downtown the other day and just stopped and ate some fruit off the tree that most people wouldn't really know would be edible. The inside, yeah. Peach.